Have you noticed that your feline friend has become the king of the house? Do you feel like you're crossing the line between affection and over-pampering? With those irresistible looks and charming purrs, it's impossible not to spoil them to the max. But did you know that overindulging your cat can affect their behavior and well-being? Today, we will discover 14 signs that your cat is too spoiled, and most importantly, how to find that balance between unconditional love and the boundaries necessary for good behavior. Let's get started. 1. Constant demands for attention. Does your cat not leave you alone, meowing and demanding constant petting? This behavior, while cute, can be a sign that your cat has learned to rely too much on your attention. In simple terms, when we respond every time he seeks us out, we reinforce that behavior, making him more demanding. Experts call this positive reinforcement, and while it's natural, it can cause your cat to lose some of his independence. 2. Won't accept food that isn't that special. Does your cat ignore his regular food and only deign to eat the premium options or his favorite snacks? While it's natural to want to give him the best, this behavior may indicate that he has developed a selective palate due to overindulgence. From an ethology expert's perspective, cats are prone to developing strong food preferences when continually given special options. This process, known as conditioned food preference, can lead to long-term nutritional problems as cats end up withholding a balanced diet. 3. Not tolerant of personal space. Cats typically value their space, but an overly spoiled cat may seek to be on top of you all the time and get upset even if you don't let him be on your lap or on your legs constantly. Cats that receive constant attention can develop an emotional dependency. This behavior arises when the cat learns that he will always get a positive response from being near you, making him less tolerant of separation. This dependency can lead to him seeking constant proximity, affecting his ability to relax alone. 4. Using the sofa as a scratching post despite having one. Have you noticed that, despite having several scratching posts at home, your cat insists on sharpening its nails on the sofa or on your favorite furniture? This behavior may be a sign that it has learned to do what it wants without restrictions, taking advantage of its free territory. From an ethological perspective, scratching is a natural behavior that cats perform to mark their territory and take care of their nails. However, when there are no clear boundaries, they may prefer surfaces that they consider important, such as your furniture, instead of scratching posts. 5. He meows to sleep with you and not in his bed. If your cat insists on sleeping in your bed and not his own, meowing until you give in, it's a clear sign that he's been overindulged. If your bed or sofa is occupied by your cat and you don't dare move him, it's an indication that he's the king of the house. Although we know we could move them, emotionally, we just don't have the heart to do it. In feline behavior, sleeping in company is a sign of trust and attachment. However, if your cat has become accustomed to always sleeping with you, he may develop an emotional dependence, associating your presence with security and warmth. 6. Demands to be picked up to get to high places. Although cats are naturally agile and curious, a spoiled cat may insist that you pick him up to get to high places instead of climbing up on his own. From an ethological point of view, cats usually seek out high places to feel safe and observe their surroundings. However, when a cat becomes accustomed to being picked up whenever he asks, he can become dependent on this gesture instead of using his natural ability to jump. This dependency is reinforced every time you give in to his demands, which limits his exploratory instinct. 7. He doesn't tolerate other people grooming him. Does your cat only allow you to groom him, and become aggressive or upset when another person tries to do it? This behavior is another sign that he's too used to being attended to by only you. Cats are territorial animals and selective with their interactions. If he only allows you to come close during grooming times, he can develop a dependency that makes him feel vulnerable or uncomfortable around others. This exclusivity reinforces a closed bond, where he perceives grooming as an activity that he can only do with you, limiting his ability to feel safe in the presence of others. 8. He sits on your computer or book. Does your cat sit right on top of your keyboard or the book you're reading when he wants attention? This behavior is a sign that he's used to being the center of your attention and knows how to interrupt what you're doing to get it. From a feline behavioral standpoint, cats quickly learn what actions provoke a reaction in us. By sitting on something that has captured your attention, like your computer, your cat knows that he'll attract your gaze and your caresses, making him the center of attention. This behavior is often reinforced every time you react to his intervention. 9. Ignores house rules. Does your cat seem to not take household rules seriously, such as not getting on the table or scratching the curtains? This behavior may indicate that he is too used to having his way and that your boundaries are unclear. Cats are highly intelligent animals who quickly learn what behaviors get them results. If there are no consequences when he breaks the rules or if you let him know when he does, he assumes that these behaviors are acceptable, reinforcing his unbridled independence. Without clear guidance, he will continue to do what he wants. 10. He gets demanding about playtime. Does your cat demand playtime at specific times and get irritated if you don't give him attention right when he wants it? This behavior is a sign that he's learned to control playtime at will. Cats naturally have energy cycles that alternate between intense activity and rest. However, a spoiled cat who always gets attention when he asks for it may develop inflexible expectations, demanding play only on his terms and becoming frustrated if he doesn't get an immediate response. This reinforces dependent behavior instead of the natural independence that characterizes cats. 11. Destroys objects when not being given attention. This behavior may be a sign that he has learned to get attention in a demanding way and, when not being given attention, he seeks to capture your interest in any way. Cats, although independent, also seek interaction and can develop behaviors to attract their owners. If by doing something mischievous such as throwing an object he gets you to approach, even if it is to scold him, the cat associates that action with getting your attention, reinforcing this behavior through what is known in ethology as negative reinforcement. 12. Meowing alarm clock. Does your cat wake you up every morning with insistent meows demanding his breakfast? A very spoiled cat often becomes the perfect alarm clock, meowing incessantly until you give him attention, whether it's for food, opening doors, or retrieving his toys. This behavior shows that he has learned to depend on you to meet all his needs, even those that he could solve himself. Cats that receive constant attention often develop patterns of dependency, especially in the feeding routine, where they anticipate the quick response of their humans. This strengthens their idea that you will always be available to meet their demands, becoming more persistent. 13. He always wants to try your food. Does your cat become an expert at persuasion every time you're eating, staring at you with those irresistible eyes until you end up giving him a bite from your plate? The most spoiled cats have no qualms about begging for their humans' food, and they often get their way. Cats quickly learn that persistence pays off. If you've ever given in to his stares or meows, he'll associate that behavior with a direct reward, a piece of your food. This pattern is strengthened every time you give him a treat from your plate, becoming a hard habit to break. 14. Feline territory, toys everywhere. Did you trip over one of your cat's toys in the hallway this morning, or does it feel like your home has been transformed into a cat's playground? A plentiful collection of toys is a sure sign that you have a very spoiled cat. Even though we invest in the best toys, the irony is that they often prefer something as simple as the box it came in. Toys serve the role of satisfying a cat's hunting instinct and keeping them active and entertained. However, when they have plenty of options, they may develop a preference for unexpected objects, enjoying the boxes as much as the toys themselves. Between